Good morning. It's great to be in Bangalore because I'm from Bangalore to start with. I always tell everybody that if anyone, anywhere in the world can build the next giant corporation, it will come from Bangalore. I'm so confident of that. So let me take a picture of you folks because I think getting everybody here is kind of awesome. I'm not selling you the phone, but you can buy a 41 megapixel camera if you want from the Nokia store. But you don't have to. I'm not selling you anything, all right? Well, good morning again, and it's great to be here, and I thank everybody for inviting me to be here. I thought we'd spend the next 20 minutes talking about mobility and why it's so important for all of us in this room. You know, I keep talking to a lot of executives. I am an angel investor as well. You're more than welcome to come pitch an idea if you want to. But I am an angel investor, and one of the things I do when I talk to people is I ask them a simple question. What will be the next big idea you're building? Because very often I see that when I meet a lot of entrepreneurs, especially from markets like India, we're looking to build a lot of stuff that's already built in markets like in the Silicon Valley. And frankly, not necessarily they mean anything at all to a market like India. And I'll talk about it. But more importantly, I think, without selling Nokia, because we're delivering a keynote, we want to talk about something that's very critical to everybody in this room, including Nokia. For that matter, everybody, whether it's Google, Microsoft, Intel, you name it. And that is, how do you monetize? I think that is the single question I get almost every day from anybody, whether he's an angel investor or she's an angel investor, whether they're an executive entrepreneur or just a tech executive, or even a professor building software. So I want to start with this. The Time magazine did an issue and called it the wireless issue. I'm not so sure how many of you even saw it. Go and pick it up or Google it online or do whatever. I think you should. Because the top 10 opportunities are something that if you start building apps for, trust me, you will be the next billion-dollar company. There is no doubt. All you have to do is go and search for it. Download that Time magazine. And don't worry, I don't own shares in Time magazine either. I'm asking you to do it because you will end up building probably the next big great idea. All right? I encourage you to do it because if you look at this top 10 issues, countries like India, the Middle East, Africa, Brazil, you name it, we all have something in common. We just have to figure this out. And I know a bunch of startups. It's strange. I sent this issue to a bunch of friends of mine at Stanford, and they all bought this copy, and they're all trying to write some software for this. So I really encourage you guys to take a look at it. How significant is mobility? Here's a guy we all know, Mark Zuckerberg, founded a company called Facebook. I think you should read it carefully, right? He said, we don't get the mobile, but now we want to. And the day Mark said that, Facebook's stock price went up. That's very interesting. And there's a reason mobility has become so big. There's a reason. And I'll tell you why I believe, and we personally believe, and Nokia as a company believes, we are most well positioned probably in the whole world, next to China and with China, to build the next big tech revolution. Let's look at India. I always tell everybody this. India missed the mainframe revolution. We missed the PC revolution. We missed the internet revolution. We went straight to the mobile revolution, which is why companies that are building out that historical background don't get mobile. I always say the phone book is the next Facebook. If you listen carefully, you will build a billion-dollar idea, and I will be your investor. For sure. As a matter of fact, I was talking to a very seasoned entrepreneur yesterday who's like a star in the Silicon Valley, now lives in India. And he said, Gerard, I've taken your idea kind of very seriously, so I'm doing a startup. And when he talked to me about the phone book idea he's building out, it's amazing. For those of you guys who think you want to come work in that startup and have 6% equity, let me know. I'm not kidding, right? He's looking for somebody to build something with him. something startling happened. The desktop internet is going down. It's all going to be mobile now. If you understand this graph and the trend on this graph, it's incredibly significant. And guess who's on it? I'm not giving you any 41 megapixel camera for guessing. India. We're bang on in this. So it just means if you're building software, app, technology, hardware, whatever, you need to keep this in mind. A lot of times people ask me, how do you think the next big game is going to change? And I tell them, understand mobile is different from mobility. It's not about smart, it's not about intelligent, it's not about full touch, it's about mobility. Look at this data. Do you know how many people use mobile and the internet and fixed desktop? Can anybody guess? I prefer speech to telepathy. It's a few billion. Can somebody guess how many sensors there will be on the internet, the mobile internet, by 2015? Over 50 billion. And we have somebody in the room, he's an entrepreneur from Bangalore. We're working with him now. And he's got such a brilliant model of technology. You guys got to go see it. Okay? And I'll tell you what he does. Why did India take off? Or why did mobility take off? Very simple. It connected people, right? I always tell this story. I did it last year, but I'll tell you guys this year as well. A lot of people today, when you look at them, they carry a phone. Whether they're driving an auto rickshaw, they're a security guy, they're a maid, whatever. You know why? They connect them to markets. When your maid calls you at home, he or she is essentially connecting to a market. So India really changed that. And in India, we still have not seen the beginning of the app story or the software story in this space. You guys should really think about it. How many of you know this? There was a very recent study done which said if a country had more than 10% mobile penetration, it contributed more than 1% to the GDP. Imagine if Nokia has almost all the phones in the country, how much in our small way we have contributed to India's GDP. This is not about Nokia. This is about a generic study. That is the scale of mobility. And we're yet to see the kind of software entrepreneurs we're looking for that can address these markets. And we want to go after them now. And there's a reason we want to. Let's look at this. I know how many of you have seen Nokia City Lens. Great. 2 out of 2,000. Well, that's a good start. But I think you guys should go and take a look at it. Why did we build it? Because we believe if you can take your mobile phone and start connecting people to markets. This is a market, right? You're a consumer, you point your phone, and it tells you this particular store has a 20% discount on a t-shirt or a coffee or whatever. You'll go there. We built it. Now what do we want? We want every one of you guys to get out there and take this to the next level. Go to Nokia, look for City Lens, download it, use it, you'll see why. How big is this market? I can't count the numbers. It's tens and tens of billions of dollars. Incredible. How many of you are building a startup in this room? Okay, I can see 5, 6 hands. How many of you are writing software for mobile? Wow, I have to fund a lot of people. Okay, but I want to tell you something. For the rest who are not, I think you guys should really look at it. Because mobile represents really something so vast that this is the next big curve of the entire industry. I will not mention this company's name. We went to a CEO of a very large corporation, and we told him, hey, this is where mobility is going. And he's a software guy. He really built the software industry in India. And he said, Gerard, I love what you're saying. We will get thousands of our developers to write mobile for you, and we won't charge you for it. Because we believe that's the next game changer for the software industry. If I tell you who he is, it's unimaginable. So Nokia wants to do this with you guys, right? So we put a very simple strategy in place. We want to first work with Microsoft. We believe Windows 8 will be the next greatest disruption. Because for the first time, truly, it will connect the enterprise, the consumer, business, and government across form factors. Whether you got tablets, whether you got mobiles, whether you got desktop, it doesn't matter. And that's why Nokia and Microsoft got our act together, which is why I think there's been a lot of talk of Windows 8 and what we're doing together. The next is the next billion. And we are the only company that's pitched our dollar on the next billion. You must have seen a lot of these commercials on the Asha device. And again, I won't ask you to buy any Asha phones. But it's the platform, what we call S40. It's the platform that allows everyone to monetize their software. You know, I think I'm talking about monetization all the time because, frankly, you can't live in love and fresh air all the time. If you're an engineer, if you're a developer, if you're an entrepreneur, you need to go out there and build a company. Building a software and building a company are radically two different things. Let me tell you that. I've been an entrepreneur twice over. And twice over, I've sold companies. The one thing I've learned selling companies, my lawyers make all the money. But the more important thing I've learned building companies, you have to have a view that you believe in. And that view is about, I'm building something the world needs. And hey, I'm going to charge them money for it. Right? If you say everything's for free, you don't want to make any money from free. Trust me when I tell you. Would you work for free, for example? I don't think so. Right? So the one thing we're doing right now is we're bringing scale. You know, I get a question that's asked me often, Gerard, should I build on Android? Should I build on BlackBerry? I said build everything. We're not sure to not make you make money. But when I've been an entrepreneur, I ask one question. Where is the market? If out of 1 billion people, 650 million use mobile phones, and almost 3/4 of that, whatever that number is and greater, use a Nokia device, I'll go after that market. We're the only company in the country that almost every major telecom operator has a billing system with us. We're live right now. You guys want to go and build and monetize, right? Here's your opportunity. To start that, we tied up with Harvard Business School Angels. So now we're working with Harvard Business School and the Angel Network here. If any one of you has a great idea, come to us. We'll fund you and get you capitalized and obviously get you mentored. Because we realize in this part of the world, and I understand because I've built my career out of India, we need mentors. So we're bringing some outstanding guys. Let me show you a resume, a sample resume. This looks more like a company, right? So we're bringing some of the brightest guys in the world. They'll probably charge you $5,000 an hour just to talk to you. Don't worry, they won't when they mentor you. But they will take an equity in you and you'll make sure that you succeed. Because we want to connect the entrepreneur with the best capital and the best minds. So we launched this initiative with Harvard Business School. If you guys are interested, let me know. Some of the brightest CEOs in the world are here. The CEO of Zynga, the guys from Citrix, and so on and so forth. We're looking at tech disruptors. There's a guy in the audience. He's built a black box. And that black box, put in an automobile, connects the automobile to the internet. Sitting here right now, my Harley Davidson in Bangalore is on my phone. Why is that so significant? If there are 200 million automobiles in India, each one traveling 1 kilometer as we speak, imagine the opportunity, right? That's a few $1 billion a day. He built the technology. He's sitting right in the audience. We're mentoring him right now. We're working with him. He went to Singapore and the government said, hey, come work with us in Singapore. Now this guy's going to be a potential large corporation. Sitting right here. For those of you who want to see a demo, I gave a presentation at Accenture and everybody left my speech. They're quite bored. And they ran out and they saw the demo and they're like, wow. If you guys want to run out right now, you can. The guy's here and the car's outside. We're working to bring the first mobile cloud. So when you're building software, you don't have to have the skills to write cloud technology. We found the entrepreneur, again in India, who's built it. So you don't have to worry about building cloud. Hyperlocal. Found another guy in Bangalore. Point your camera and it does transliteration in real time. Mobile commerce. We built the technology, we plug this into the phone, it turns your phone into point of sale. Imagine what it will do for India. Mind-boggling. We're talking to a company to roll this across 1 million people. Design matters, right? You all know this car. It's a Ferrari, I think. $260,000 in the US, you buy it, you drive it, and you think you're pretty cool. There's another car, whatever, does something, $49,500. But look at this. Where's the engine? Stunning, yeah? This is design. When you go and build software, think about your design. Design is not about the red paint. It's not about the click. It's about how you'll capture value. I'm going to leave you with one thought. You know, when I often speak, people tell me I don't stop. I think I have 60 seconds left, I don't stop. We want to invite you guys. When I say guys, I mean guys and girls. We want to invite everybody here. If you have an incredible idea and you think you're potentially a disruptor, that's my email address, gerard.rego@nokia.com. You can send me a mail, and we will respond within 60 seconds if I'm at my desk. Not that I work for a call center, but we take our job very seriously. And we want to build the next big ideas. We'll bring the assets. We'll bring the hundreds of millions of people who use the phone. We'll bring the consumer base. We'll bring the largest app store in the country. We'll bring all of them. Our app store is doing 80 million downloads. That's incredible. No one's ever done that before. So I'm going to stop right now. I have 4 minutes and 20 seconds, 15 seconds as we speak. If anybody has any questions, I'll take them. And please feel free. I don't charge when I speak. I only charge when I teach. Any questions at all? Please use this opportunity, because I think what we want to do is we were really looking for the people, because I keep saying that over again. Because at Nokia, we've done an incredible job in what we believe was the 1.0 of mobility. We helped build that ecosystem. We want to take this to the next level. You know, the other day somebody comments, "Hey Gerard, what a great opportunity for you guys." I'm like, "Why is that?" He said, "Did you see the Apple Maps?" I was like, "I know. Tim Cook should have called us before he built Maps, because we have the best map infrastructure in the world." Well, anyone can make a mistake. Yeah, please state your name so I can respond to you.
Talks yesterday, and even actually not today, but talks yesterday. You know, we had speakers speak about selecting a platform, right? And as an entrepreneur and a startup, obviously the big question is, okay, which platform do I pick? And I'll tell you my personal experience is that I'm not even looking at Nokia. I know, you're talking about the next billion, right? I'm not even looking at Nokia. BlackBerry maybe, right? And I'm sure there are a lot of other, people here who are not taking Nokia seriously. Maybe Windows is a platform, but S60, or SS60 all out, but S40, I'm not excited about it, honestly. So, what really are you doing to build, get that excitement?
Great. As an entrepreneur, and I've been an entrepreneur twice over and built very successful companies, the one question I'm going to ask is, what is the market I'm serving? If I'm serving a market that is not out of Asia or an emerging economy, you have the answer. If I'm building a technology to serve an emerging economy like India, China, Middle East, Africa, you have a very direct answer. You just have to go to a search engine and download and see where are the largest users of mobile phones. That's the answer. I'm not going to ask you to build either, because I know whatever you build on, in 6 months you will be writing me a mail. I don't know that. Because you'll come back and say, "Gerard, now I need to make money." When you need to make money, we'll talk.
Do you fund a company that is still building a prototype and the founder is not an engineer? Sure. And what's the nature of your involvement beyond capital in such a company? Okay,
great question. I'm time out, but I'll use this 30 seconds, if that's okay. So that's why we're bringing our ecosystem. There is an investment ecosystem. There's a difference between money and capital. Money is, put your hand up in the room and say, "I need $100,000, and maybe you'll get 20 right now. Capital is when the guy says, hang on a second, I'm so-and-so, I'm putting in 10,000, but now your company is worth $1 million. Because I will bring in the relationships. So you need to be mentored. Second part of your question, the brightest guys who built companies were never engineers. They were never MBAs, they dropped out. So don't worry, we're perfectly okay. The third part of your question, what Nokia does is to make sure we bring in the assets that will make you monetizable. So whether it's our app store, whether it's the platform, whether it's the consumer base, whether it's the distribution. Cost of distribution costs a lot of capital, right? You build an idea, you need to get discovered, you need to get consumed. That's why we're bringing those pieces. We said, hang on a second. There are a lot of guys in India writing software. Personally, I'm extremely passionate about India. Extremely. I live here, I work here, I breathe here, I do everything here. So I'm not sitting in the valley and giving you a speech and going back. I'm living here and going there. There's a little difference, right? So I think just build what you want, write me a mail, and I'll connect you to some very bright folk. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.